Morning traders, and this is your DAX day trade setup for today. So we got our pullback, albeit a bit further than what I was expecting. But I think before we get into the daily, just quickly have a look at the monthly here. So at the moment we have a massive pin bar. We had a pin bar the month before. We had this range bars, indecision bar, and it's all off levels. And the level pretty much was the previous all-time high. And we're now moving back to the downside. So I have a strong suspicion that that the Dow is going to give us another month or two of downside. It's looking like we have some really decent trend changes here. If we look at the weekly is not that clear. Okay, the only thing that we have here that is pretty clear is the fact that we have a megaphone formation here. Okay, now a break below that is going to be telling. Okay, the oscillators also eased off a little bit, but still pretty much in overbought territory. They have crossed over now as well. So I would expect this to continue to the downside, to be honest. Now, it's not just coronavirus that's driving this. There's also there's a lot of recession fears going through some global markets, and the German market is one of them. And there's also been some fairly negative data coming out of Germany recently as well. So at the moment, we are, let's just delete that noise. We are back in this area of where the buyers were stepping in. So I think the key thing here is look at your levels, but ignore that one for now. Put the next one on the turn moving average. Okay, so a break below this 12,890 is going to give us a move to the downside. It's going to give us a fairly strong move to the downside. Okay, that is pretty much our double top. There's our double top there. There's the first high, there's the second high. So that's a neckline. We need a good 4 hour or a 3 hour close below that, and that will trigger that move. So for me at the moment, trend is definitely to the downside, but I'm expecting some kind of a pullback, looking at the oscillators, everything else. So wouldn't surprise me to see us just bounce onto one of these levels, and it's long, but it'll be a short long. I don't think it's going to be that big, probably just to best case scenario is going to be back to the opening. That in itself is 3%. So yeah, we have gaps that have closed now as well. So I suppose you want to you're looking at it as a short, but you don't want to be short at the level we're at now. You want to be short from a level higher up. So you're expecting another attempt at this level, or this zone that we have here. So I'd like to see sort of a bounce to the upside. At the moment, the futures market is fairly, let me just get there. At the moment, the futures market is fairly strong. We have the US S&P is up 0.7% at the moment. The DAX futures is up 0.9% at the moment. So it's definitely a bit of a pullback happening right now. But the big question is whether that's just the Asian traders just driving off the low volumes at the moment. I would be leaning to the point that this is looking like shorts, but there's not much in the line of resistance here. I mean, look at your inside tails. There's one there, there's one there, and then there's one there. And I suppose this one here is the one I'd be paying attention to, which is 13383. Okay. So yeah, I think at the moment that pretty much my view on this at the moment. I'm expecting some kind of a pullback, but then I'm be watching for another move to the downside. I don't see this suddenly reversing, although it is possible, but I think I'd like to see another attempt to the downside. So one word of warning in that theory at the moment is we do have a wedge break here. So there's a break and the retest. Okay, but that only brings us back into the zone again. Okay, so it brings us back to 13,166. or 13,124. Okay, so that's kind of the setup we have there. I don't think any major changes on the Ichimoku. And right now, we shouldn't be paying attention to the low time frames right now on Ichimoku. So we'd be looking from the hour, and you can see how Kijis and Tikens are far apart. So that is a warning that we're expecting some kind of a pullback, or could be a reversal, but it's a pullback until the reversal is confirmed. And the 4 hour is exactly the same picture. So we've broken through. Everything's bearish, but we are so far from Kijis and Tikens, and both of them are flat. So I would expect some kind of a bounce back to the upside. And the easy thing here is on the 4 hour is to look for the flat cloud on the left. Don't even bother looking for your levels. Just look for the flat cloud, because that'll give you the indication of where the next support is or resistance. So there's resistance, there's another bit of resistance there. And then obviously the last one will be up in that area there. So I would expect some kind of a pullback before a second move to the downside, and that's where we are. Okay, on the daily, pretty much it's flat. I mean, for the last this is the 4th month that we've been running sideways like this. So, you probably would expect that to continue. We technically we haven't had a lower low yet on the daily, so that is a bit of a worry. But as I said, this level that we're at the moment, I'll use one of these surplus lines here. That's the area that we need to watch for. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see buyers stepping off this thing again and try and drive it back up. We do have some gaps to the upside, but we also have a few gaps to the downside, which are quite far down. Okay, and I just want to have a look at the weekly. There's nothing really on the weekly, and the monthly. So the monthly is the one that really concerns me. If you look at it, that little tweezer the top there is rather compelling. Okay, anyway, I'm looking for the pullback, and then probably looking for another short. There are a few long scalps on offer as well, but you need to pay attention to your levels and see where they get to. Anyway, hope that helps, guys, and we'll catch up with you later. Cheers for now.